very first thing that hits you when you come to Saigon is the traffic and the sheer amount of motorcycles and scooters ruling the streets. Saigon, or by its other name, Ho Chi Minh City, is the business center of Vietnam, and you can feel that in the hustling and bustling in the streets at pretty much every single hour of the day that make crossing any intersection a full-on adventure. The very wonderful counterbalance to this is the coffee and food culture in this city. Saigon is definitely able to compete with any other European city in terms of the concepts of these coffee places. Well, if coffee doesn't do the trick for you, you are in very good company at the Pasteur Street Brewery, a craft beer brewery with a bar that is definitely worth a visit and trying their flight of beer.
Yeah, exactly.
One of our favorite things to explore was actually the restaurant scene. Saigon is full of secret rooftop restaurant places that you don't really find at first sight, but you have to know that they're there and then kind of make your way through the backyard, find the secret staircase, and then walk all the way up to a wonderful location where you can enjoy delicious food while seeing Saigon from another angle. If you want to experience the true and Vietnamese side of Saigon, you definitely have to hit the markets. Not only are merchants offering food and other things almost on every single corner in the city, but there's also numerous markets, Chinese, Vietnamese, or theme-based markets where you can get anything that your heart desires. The streets is also the place where the city really wakes up at night. You have lights going on, music playing, the streets full of people celebrating different festivals throughout the year. So it's definitely worth to stay outside after the sun goes down. As Vietnam throughout the ages has constantly been under the influence of different countries trying to colonize it, that's something that you also see in the architecture, just walking through the streets. The French probably being the most influential one, in churches, in the opera house, or sometimes even just on random buildings on the street. Really beautiful things happen when these two cultures mingle. So you have Vietnamese rituals happening in front of French buildings. You see Vietnamese political paintings hang in French-style post offices. And even the French-styled majestic hotel right on the river in Saigon is a very unique mix of everything that is incredibly charming about Vietnam and its style and the beauty of colonial French architecture. Although, or even maybe because the Vietnamese have been under the influence of many countries for so long, they are very patriotic, and you can see statues of Ho Chi Minh, a lot of artifacts from the American War, and generally a lot of national and government influence everywhere in the street, being omnipresent everywhere you look. One of the places where you can really feel the present and the past is the Independence Palace that is now called the Unification Palace that was pretty much left in the exact same state that it was when the northern Vietnamese troops marched in. That time travel is most interesting in the bunker below the Independence Palace. Pretty much everything was left exactly as it was, so you can see maps that show the location of the different troops. You can see the other countries even with their old names on these maps. And also there's several rooms that contain communication equipment from really back in the 60s and 70s. And you really feel like something threw you back in time. You almost want to sit down on one of these chairs and try to turn the fate of the war. Living in Ho Chi Minh City for a month has been such a wonderful and rich experience, a very intense combination of old and new, and I'm very grateful that I had the chance to see it in its unique transformation process that is going on right now. Thank you so much, and goodbye for now, beautiful Saigon.